What's up, goofy goobers? Stand by. Okay, there we go. Now I can see the chat. Shaddix, what's going on? Jindo, I'm doing good, brother. How you doing, man? Brian GM, Falcor GM, Svickle GM, High Plains GM, Bob GM, Emperor. Yeah, GM, brother. GM, brother. Continue GM, NDR, GM, fellas. Hope you guys are having a good day. Hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. Hump day. Locksmith, GM, Earther. What are you hemming about? What are we hemming about? That's a hard word to say out loud. Dom is like a Twitch streamer. We're just hoping, praying, says, come on, come on. I'll say literally every single one of your names out loud. You guys don't even need to hope. Salt, GM. GM right there. Mikata, how are you? Oh, autocorrect. I see. Okay. I see. Konnichiwa. Phoenix, what's going on? Give us combat, for God's sake. God, just give it to us. I'm right there with you, brother. Tendian, I'm right there with you, bro. I'm right there with you, brother. Oh, look, Santi's on stage. I can't hear you, though, Santi.
No way.
Jose, do you hear Santi,
GM.
Jose, or no?
No.
Dude, he got trolled, dude.
He got trolled.
Dude, he got
He
trolled.
should know better, bro. He should know
Dude,
better.
no way. No way he fell for
I
that.
don't even want to come back to stage, bro,
Dude,
at this point. Just leave me out of here, bro.
No
I'm
way
gone.
you fell for that.
Leave me outside this thing, bro.
It is a well-known fact that Dom is the gatekeeper for new content releases, bro. What the heck?
Oh my
Oh,
god,
that
who
is
said
not
that?
true.
He got promoted, no? Sure.
No. Blame Dom. That's what I say. That's what I always say. Just blame Dom. Screw it.
Promoted to blame target. That's
Yeah.
his new role.
Yeah.
No salary raise, no more
Actually, salary
responsibility.
reduction.
Salary reduction, and you get blamed for everything.
That's a good.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it, everybody. Thank you so much. I worked really hard to get here. It was.
It's the community job, you know? It is
Yeah.
low key.
Armstrong GM. GM, everybody. I think I said GM to everyone who said GM, so hope you guys
If you're
having a
not
good Wednesday.
GMing in
Happy
the
hump
chat
day.
right now, you're not even in the brew. Let's say it.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
There we
Brujo
go. There we
GM.
go. GM Brujo.
Yeah,
GM
yeah.
Brujo.
Make sure you get your GM in, bro. What are you talking? What are you doing, bro?
Get the GM in. Come on.
GM.
We got
Mikata, you already said. Oh, what the hell? You're too fast. Sam GM.
Jith Blade. There we go. There we go.
Side Rum GM. Knack GM. All right. I think we're good. I think everyone got their GM. Dom back to Reddit? What the fuck? Dude, I'm getting cooked today.
Worst bet ever?
All right. E-Slicer GM. Yeah, it was. No, I wasn't. Listen, I'm not wrong. I'm just early. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, you guys know what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to open that can of worms.
I'll open it with great pleasure.
Dude. We have Gareth here. Gareth,
Yeah,
what's going on, bro?
GM Gareth.
Oh my
Hey
god.
guys, sorry, just grabbing some water. I do have this cough that's on and off, so if I mute my mic unexpectedly, it's for your sake.
You're good.
Yeah, fine, bro.
Welcome to the stage. Always a pleasure to have you, my friend.
Brad, do you see
Thank you,
that?
thank you.
You see that, bro? You see what I'm subjected to?
Why is Dom a pinky furry?
Why? Why? You see what I'm subjected to? This is unreal. Unreal. Boss wave. Yeah, Brad, make it a boss. Is that not a real photo? All right, we got to move on. Expeditious.
Nah, he cooked you. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I'm having a late coffee here. It's 10 p.m. for me, and I'm having coffee. I don't know if that's ideal, but it has to be
Right there
done.
with you, bro.
No way,
It has to be
Santi.
done. Yes, late
BB,
nights, late
you are
nights.
spoiling announcements, BB.
Yeah, BB, come on.
Steady, BB.
Right, all right, we can get started before BB spoils everything. Let's start with that one actually. Let's start with that one. BB has a challenge for the people who are in the Count With Us channel. So whoever reaches the number that he posted there will win 250 polis. So if you're in the Discord server and you want some free polis, you can reach to
Keep it down.
4444444.
It's close.
And
It's gonna be me,
yes,
bro.
and it's all about sniping it, I think. You don't want to post the previous one. That is the trick. So yeah, if you guys want to participate in that, 250 polis up for grabs in the Count With Us channel. So go.
It'll be
Go, go.
mine, bro.
No way. No way.
I'm gonna steal that, bro.
On another fun news, Jose, you have the Lord Keepers tomorrow, right?
Lore Keepers tomorrow. Lots of alpha, cool information, and of course lore. Make sure to come. I have something huge to show to the lore people, so don't miss
Yes.
it.
Lore and Discord people should definitely tune in because I don't know if how much we can spoil about this, Jose, but Jose and Darwin have been cooking something together for you guys. And you'll get a first glimpse on what it is tomorrow in the Lore Keepers event. So make sure to mark us interested. The guys have been working on something literally for the community. So highly recommend everyone to join that one. I think it's
It's
gonna be
very
a fun
cool.
one.
It's very cool. Highly recommend. Yeah.
Yeah. Highly recommend joining and knowing about that because we want people to be involved as well. So I don't know, just say, can we spoil anything else? Or should we keep it at that?
Another thing that we'll be talking about is tufas, and especially high risk zone materials and components. So if you are looking forward to go to the high risk zone one day and farm extraordinarily rare materials, this will get you hyped.
Yeah.
You're going into end game material, Jose. You got to keep it steady over there, bro.
We don't want you to get fired,
100%.
Jose, in one of the Lord Keepers.
Dude, bro, they get fired,
Yeah,
bro.
we need. Yeah, we keep the everything that happens in the lore keepers stays in the lore keepers. So
I
Okay,
like that.
okay.
Okay.
That's good.
I like that.
That's good.
Oh, hold on. I gotta pass down the lore one sec.
Pass down the lore in the chat. Pass down the lore. Very important to pass down the lore.
I had to make sure I'm in that. I had to make sure I'm in that. All right.
Yeah. Pass down the lore in the chat. And in the lore keepers meeting tomorrow, guys. Steady. Steady. But yeah, we have more noteworthy news. If you didn't realize and you're playing Sage, you're probably blind. But we just had a big update on the UI side of things. It's a bit early, but that's how we like to ship. And you guys can go check it out now if you haven't. I know that there's mixed feedback on it, mostly positive actually, but some little things that should be changed, like I think we already changed the engineers are already moving on some things, so they already changed the self-destruct button and where it was, and also people wanted to have a better way to visualize fleets. So our engineers are on it. I know that people have even been talking with Xenor from our team. Xenor,
Mhm.
shout out to him. What a legend! And
What a
they're working
legend,
on
bro.
it. So expect updates on that. Expect updates. Yes. He's Eves. I don't know if you want it to be docs, but yeah. I see people asking in
Want
the
to be
chat.
dogs, but I'm gonna dogs him anyway. I respect that.
Xenor. Xenor. I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, updates on the Sage UI coming soon, guys. Coming soon, and I think it's a big leap forward, right? Like it really feels more like a game, at least to me.
Mhm.
And it also it's a good improvement when it comes to mobile as well. It's
Yeah.
pretty. It's more useful, let's say, in
Yeah.
mobile now than it was before. So I don't know if anyone's playing on mobile, but in the future we expect people to be. So
That was actually the big
it's
motivation
better.
for doing this big UI shift is to make it more compatible with mobile. Um, so I'm glad people are already liking it, but also,
Mhm.
yeah, like Santi just said, it's a big motivation for that is so people who are playing mobile can actually play the game and have a good time playing the game. So, which is big. That's actually huge. Fleet Command and Sage is actually, in my opinion, I think it's a great game to play on mobile. So, I think it's pretty cool.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
It's a step in the right direction. And yeah, feedback has been mostly positive. Again, like some very specific functionalities that need to be fixed, but our team is on it. So I think it's a big move forward. Yes. And also change takes some time to sink in as well. Like that's that's usually the case. So I'm sure everyone will get more used to it as you guys play. But to me, it
Hmm.
feels a lot better. So yeah. And then another update that was launched is the new fleet scores. I know that one really had mixed feedback on it, and I think Chris
Yeah.
posted a message covering their intentions uh, behind the new update, but it gives way more information. I know that people wanted things to be a bit more granular, and if you have any thoughts on what should be changed on that, let us know. I know that the econ team is not planning any changes on it right now, but yeah, Dom posted an announcement with some more details. I don't know, Dom, if you want to cover that.
Yeah, what I will say, like Santi said, so there's been a couple feedback points that we've gotten consistently. Number one is why isn't price of the fleet rental put into the equation of the score? And number two is people want to see the raw stats. And Chris actually goes, I do not want to speak for Chris or the econ team ever, to be honest. So I'm not going to speak on the price
Yeah.
part. But what I will say is what the econ team is not looking to do is add the price as part of that equation. What the econ team is looking for feedback on and where your guys' input can really make a difference is the weights in the equation. So if you guys think a certain thing that, like, if you guys look at the equation in the doc in the minor announcement, and you think, I don't know, X is way too little in terms of weight in the formula, then please put that feedback in, and we want that feedback. What we don't want feedback on is including price in the equation. That's just something the econ team does not want to do, and I'm not going to speak for them on why that is, but yeah, if you guys do want to put in feedback, that is what they're looking for right now. Anyways.
Hmm. Yeah. I think some people like more the original score because it took into account price. But
Mhm.
again, like that is something that moving forward, it's we won't be doing. So
Yeah.
yeah, guess we'll need to get used to that one. But yeah, I see several people typing, so I'll wait before we move to the next topic. But
It's a pretty spicy conversation, actually. A lot of people have opinions on this one. A lot of people have, their own reservations about the new scores, which is totally fine. But like I said, if you guys have any feedback points on the actual weights of the equations, the econ team is definitely looking for feedback there.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But with that said, I don't know if there's anything noteworthy new related that we should be mentioning. I don't think so. I don't think we missed anything. Anyone has any noteworthy to share in the chat? Should we be chatting about something specific before we move to the main topic?
Yeah, tell
Did
us
we
the
miss
cool
anything?
stuffs in your lives.
Whose
BB's
birthday is it
haircuts.
today? Whose birthday is it today? Or close? Who has a birthday close? Anyone? Any birthdays near? Nobody.
Just
This
BB
good,
having
bro.
a new
Oh,
haircut.
Benny had his birthday 4 days ago. Happy birthday, old man.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Benny.
birthday,
Yeah.
Bunny. We love you, bro.
14 this weekend. Congratulations. Oh yeah, Brad's birthday was last week.
Shout out
True.
to Brad.
True.
Dax, happy late birthday.
Sam B says I have one every year. That's
That's
convenient.
good, bro. That's good, bro.
That's very
Yeah.
convenient. Yes, we need to do birthday parties in the brew. If you ever have a birthday on a Wednesday, let us know. We'll throw a party for you. Yes. Hunter says tomorrow is his. We don't say happy birthday early in Argentina, so nobody tell him happy birthday. Now
Easy.
everybody will do. But yeah. But yeah, I think we can move to the main topic. So, guys, the main topic for today is we want to chat about play to earn. Play to earn is the main topic for today. So we want to chat about. It's going to be a bit of a philosophical conversation mixed with actual data points. So we want you guys also to engage in the conversation. So if anyone has anything to add and wants to join the stage, feel free to raise your hand because we're definitely looking to have different opinions. But we're going to be talking about the future of play to earn, this current state of play to earn, how it looks like, how is Star Atlas doing, and also the future of how we see the Star Atlas economy evolving. So it's going to be a bit theory crafty, I would say. So like very philosophical type of conversation. But I think it's good to talk like vision and where we think we're going. And again, like we'll love people to engage. If you have something to say about any of the topics that we will be speaking about, please feel free to raise your hand and we'll let you on stage. But yes. We can get started. First of all, disclaimer. Nothing here is financial advice. These are all personal opinions. We're not representing Automata's opinion as a whole. So don't make any financial decisions or anything based on this. It's just a theory crafty conversation on the future of play to earn. Have to say it. Have to get it clear. But we can move to the main topic now. So we can chat a little bit before we get into the future. We can talk about the present. So the current state of play to earn. Some people say play to earn is dead. The market is definitely not caring about play to earn right now. At least it's not one of the main narratives. So we want to open this conversation up with that. Like we see a lot of projects also pop up, new projects, the classic, really high ROI, lots of users in the first week, and then things not working out. But how do you guys see the current state of play to earn? Dom, Jose, Gareth, we can get started with something like that.
I mean, I have a lot of opinions on the state of play to earn. I think this is going to be a great conversation, by the way. This might get a little spicy, which is totally awesome and fair. But I like the current state of play to earn. I mean, obviously, play to earn, Web3 gaming, blockchain gaming, crypto gaming, whatever the hell you want to call it at this point. I obviously is at a pretty low point. I think a lot of people. I think there's been a lot of bad apples that have completely tarnished the image of play to earn gaming or Web3 gaming, whatever you want to call it. I think there's a lot of bad apples who tarnish that image. A lot of people who, either rugged or scammed or were way over their head, didn't know how to build the game, whatever it is. And I think the industry is in a spot where there's a lot of work to do, to be honest. There's also been some pretty successful game Web3 games, and when I say successful, I mean there's been some games that have been getting a pretty good amount of popularity I think of Off the Grid. Off the Grid, I think is a great. Honestly, I love Off the Grid. I played the hell out of it. I think it's a great champion
Is it
for the
play to
Web3
earn?
gaming space.
Is it play to
Yeah,
earn?
That's a good question. See, that's a good question. Like what do you like? I would say yes, but in a different way. I mean, what do you quantify as play to earn? Do you need to earn a token for it to be play to earn, or can you earn
You need to get
blockchain
value.
assets or in-game assets like a skin or something and sell it, and that's still play to earn? Like, do you still consider that play to earn, or does it
I
need to be like
consider
token?
You need something with value
just like
that you.
yeah, like Icy pointed it out. I think it's more like
Web3
Web3
enhanced.
enhanced.
Yeah,
Like
okay, that's fair.
some, it may sound insulting, but some people call it Web 2.5
Mm-hmm.
type of
Yeah,
game,
I've heard that before. Yeah.
where
Mhm.
it's like you're just leveraging the chain to have ownership over the NFTs that you hold, but you're not really earning, right? So
Mhm.
it's a bit of a mixed approach, right? Where you give ownership to the player, and that's fantastic, but
Mhm.
but you're not doing groundbreaking stuff when it comes to like creating an economy or allowing people to earn based
Mhm.
like from playing the game. So I don't know.
See, this is really interesting to me because you probably think it's Web 2.5, and is this really even play to earn? Is this just kind of like it's like CS:GO, but the trading instead of it being on Steam is on the blockchain, and that's really it, And is that play to earn? I don't know. I think I think that completely depends on your
Yeah,
definition of play to earn. I think the industry is so early and it's so young that I think anyone's definition isn't technically incorrect. I think if someone said Off the Grid is a play to earn game, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, you're wrong." Or if they said it's Web 2.5, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, you're wrong." Um, uh, did you say I would?
Yeah.
Yeah, but besides, yeah, I like Off the Grid. I think its success is great. I think it's a good champion for the space, even if you think it's Web 2.5. I think it's anything that shapes Web3 gaming or crypto gaming, blockchain gaming in a good light, a fun game, something that is not a scam, not a Ponzi, that's fun to play, that you can maybe have some earning potential in, and anything that works toward making that look better and not look like every Web3 game is a scam is an angel in my book.
I
I love
agree.
you.
I
I
agree.
love you, and thank you so
Yeah,
much.
no, for sure, for sure. I don't think we are better just because we have a different economy or a more complex economy or something like that. But I'll be honest, I don't think there is any game that fills the same category. We can call it whatever we want of Star Atlas, right?
Cyber
Right
Nation.
now, yeah, I actually don't have enough context on them to know. But
No. I
the
mean like the
economy.
concept of Cyber Nation,
Oh no.
not a game.
Oh, I thought it was a game. Sorry, Santi. But yeah,
No.
we have like we have a vision that has been alive for years now, and the whole economy is built over that vision. And what is something funny that we have been discussing before this brew is that Staratus built the game economy before the game world. So this is like a handicap that we had, right? We needed to make the economy make sense. We need to have gameplay loops without very little support from product. And we
Hmm.
managed to do that with
True.
very little substance. But every day that passes now, more and more substance comes to our game, and the vision starts translating more to reality. So
Mhm.
this makes me extremely bullish about what we have here because Star Atlas will never have less content, less gameplay loops, less variety than it has now. And if it's already working, if people already coming here every day, if people are seeing this, compounding their assets, building up guilds, foundations, and everything that they are doing right now, imagine when we have 20 different careers in game, each one of them with a different gameplay loop, when we have crafting trees that are extremely complex, that requires extreme specialization from the players to advance and to be successful, when we have the high risk zone with 1000 different creatures that can kill you on any ways possible, but they also drop unique assets that can craft unique recipes that changes your entire ship configuration only by using this item and changing your entire fleet specialization. So yeah, I am extremely bullish for the concept of play to earn here in Star Atlas, and I don't think anyone else is doing what we are doing. And this is a
Yeah.
blessing actually.
I I actually have a question for Gareth on this. And Gareth, unbiased opinion. Unbiased opinion. I know that you're from our econ team, so it's maybe biased, but is there anyone doing economy, like on-chain economy for a game at the level of depth that we're currently doing it? Like, do you see in the current state of the market and competitors? How do you see that yourself? I know that you look at data, a lot of data, and you follow many different projects. So curious about your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I was just about to jump in. I think my mic's working properly now. I had some audio issues in the background there, but happy birthday to everyone that said their birthday was in the chat. And yeah, to get back to your question, it's it's very obvious that Star Atlas is really the market leaders in all aspects at the moment. There, as you said, there are some products that come in. They have some propped up value that they seek to emit, and then once that value is emitted, um, their product is no longer viable. What we've been able to create here is honestly it's like unbelievable in the grand scheme of things. And we're in a spot now where we have this economy that does bleed value in the aggregate. I've seen some people mention certain requirements are necessary for a play to earn economy to succeed in the long run. Um, that is very true. And it's we're very susceptible to outside market conditions and people's preferences when it comes to their goals playing Star Atlas and being involved in the economy. But um, overall, we're in an extremely good spot to scale this thing. And once we provide more, I guess, more thorough, more depth to our gameplay loops, which is coming steady. But that's where we really see this economy take shape and pretty much scale linearly with the features that we release. So it's an amazing product, especially given where we're at. And yeah, I don't think anybody else really comes close at the moment.
Nice. That's great to hear.
That's top praise. Top praise for arguing. No, I totally agree. And Gareth, I have a kind of a similar question. I've seen a couple of people ask about like Ponzi's and stuff like that, and a lot of Web3 gaming is just basically serving as like a Ponzi scheme. A lot of the games that we see becoming popular in Web3 gaming right now have like we've seen them come, and then we kind of, like you said, seen them go. They have this like maybe like seasonal thing, and then you can earn a bunch of stuff. And then the token crashes, and then maybe the game loses its popularity. But that's, I guess, do you think there's any future for games like that? Do you think there's any way for them to even not, I guess, get out of it being a Ponzi? Or do you think that's kind of like the sacrifice you make is when you do make it a Ponzi, you sacrifice a long-term economy for short-term popularity?
That's exactly right. You're essentially declaring a value at which you've raised through VC, or that you've acquired through the increase in token price, and you're essentially saying this is the maximum amount of value that we can emit. You're not saying this publicly. You're saying this from the perspective of your product. You're saying, if my customers go in and they buy an NFT, and then or they participate in some very boring, very linear game loop, button clicking, for example, or whatever it is, you're essentially saying once all of that value is extracted, there is no more product, and that's because there is no game. For example, if you have a product, we'll say, I don't know, for Illuvium's not a good example. Something like I'm trying to think of a good one. I guess we can use off the grid as an example. If you arbitrarily set values for these NFTs that you're dropping through off the grid, um, you're assigning a predetermined value. You can determine how many are emitted, but the value of those is very deterministic about how much value you've acquired and how much you can put into the game in order to keep it playable. This applies more to tokens, especially like if you're just emitting tokens with no incentives to continue to participate. That'll just that'll go to zero no matter what. That's so it's all about how you build up the economy from the start before making it public. That's really, and that again assumes that you have some fixed market you're working with. But yeah, in terms of those real Ponzi-nomic products that have absolutely nothing backing them, except for some very basic game, unless they're able to develop a game and they've set it up in a way where they can make money at the expense of their reputation, there is no real rebound from that. It's a very short-term play.
That's super interesting, and it makes me think of another question, which is, in your brain, Gareth, like, do you think that complex gameplay loops equal value of the total economy? Like, is there a correlation between the two? Or
you're more just extending the lifespan of the value that you're generating in the game. So for example, if I just give you 100 Atlas, you're much more inclined to it was super easy to acquire. You're much more inclined to just convert that to your country of origin's currency, because you're much more willing to spend that in your country of origin, whether it's United States, Canada, Australia, wherever you're from. You have more. There's more for you in the physical world with that Atlas, especially because you've acquired it so quickly. There's nothing really drawing you. There's no work you put in to acquire that. Now, if you have a more complex gameplay loop, such as you have to destroy the Tufa Titan through the high risk zone, fighting off other players' fleets, and you've come across that same 100 Atlas, and now to you this is much more valuable. It's that time variable that kind of plays a big role here. It's that feeling of success you get from attaining an item, and that's reflected also in the value on the other end, right? Like, it's not just more valuable to you, but it's more valuable to other people because they also have to invest that same amount of time, acquire that same amount of skill to reach that same objective. So to answer your question, like, it's very dependent on more complex loops, especially those that require a lot of skill, where there's no sort of roadblocks, like maybe server lag, connection issues. There's no handicap for other people, and it's a fair, very skill-based environment. That's really where the value is derived.
I like that. I like that.
On one hand,
yeah.
Sorry, go for it, Santi. Go for it.
No, go for it, bro. Go for it.
I was just gonna say, on one hand, sometimes I'm like, damn, this kind of sucks, because all these people are like, oh my god, I'm making like 1,000% right now, and I'm just like, I mean, it's like all the attention is going towards that, but I know long term, there is no winner that who does things like that. If you want a long term, you want your economy to be sustainable, you have to, your earnings can't be out of control. Things have to make sense. There needs to be sinks, all these things. There needs to be complex gameplay loops. So yeah, on one hand, sometimes I'm like, damn, this just sucks to see all the attention at this X game who's doing this crazy thing and they're giving away all this stuff. But on the other hand, you just have to think back to long term, and long term, there is no one who's going to be able to compete with years of an economy maturing and things like that. So yeah, very cool. Appreciate your insights there, Gareth.
Yeah, no, I
It's,
mean,
yeah, go for it, Gareth. Go for it.
oh no, I was gonna spin it back to you guys because you guys are, pretty on the front lines in terms of, seeing people's adoption towards these other games on the front end. We see a lot of the back end stuff, but that doesn't really reflect sentiment, right? Like, um, there are some products, and meme coins especially, where it's raw PvP in the markets. But you can look at trade activity and things, but you never really know the culture or um, the vibe, I guess, of the project until you're looking at it from your perspective, which is community facing. So, and that's another point towards like these Ponzi schemes, right? Like you're gonna get a lot of people hyped up about it, disregarding
Mhm.
products like Star Atlas, like a few other big names in the space, to focus on these short term, high risk, high rewards products that have no longevity to them, but they're so easy to make and so attractive that people can't help but stare at it and participate in it. So, um, yeah, how do you guys interpret that? And I guess for the future of Star Atlas, like how do you interpret that uh, we play on that level of the next shiny object while still building for the long term, in your opinion?
Oh
I think
man,
I think it's
my
about
opinion
the
comes with UE5.
quality. Yeah, I think it's highly about the quality, and also I would say the community and the ecosystem at the same time. Of course, I am completely biased on
Mhm.
that one, but I do believe that, and it goes to what you were saying, Gareth, of like making people want to stay in the economy. I think the community and the ecosystem have a key part in it. I think many people will have left already if it wasn't for the community that we have right now. But in the future, also, like once you start having a super high quality game with the social aspects as well, where more like the metaverse side of things, where like you can use your Atlas to buy pizzas in real life that reach your home, like from the game itself, where you can buy a T-shirt from Galia merchants in there as well, where you have all these businesses and the deep layers of the ecosystem in which you can engage. That is going to keep you involved and also going to be the shiny object, I think.
Mhm.
So those are like my 2 cents. Of course, like that is from my perspective, but another thing that plays a big role in it is having a fun, high quality game, right? Like that is the key. So those are my two Atlas on this.
Mhm. I
Yeah,
actually,
I
there's
mean,
been Gareth, and I'd be interested in hearing your answer here, but I have Ray saying, "What makes Star Atlas not a Ponzi? One sentence only, total words 5." And then I have Brian asking, Why isn't Star Atlas a Ponzi?" And I know you guys are obviously memeing and or not memeing, but more so asking seriously, so you can answer that question to other people. But I mean, for me, it's real economy, real demand. Like there's real demand here, and in other places there isn't real demand. But Gareth, I'd be interested in hearing your take on this and kind of Star Atlas and what you think there.
Yeah, I was seeing those comments too. In under 5 words, I have a decent go at it. It's
Hmm.
mimics real life. If you can apply the same, you can ask the same question about economies globally. People that want to spend time in, say, let's just say Costa Rica or Japan, or popular travel destinations. People move there. Um, Maybe they travel there, but at the end of the day, they're contributing. There's demand for the luxuries, the amenities, um, the needs and wants in those locations around the world. If people went to Costa Rica or wherever, I'll use Costa Rica since I brought that up, but if they just went and looked at the scenery, um, took free coconuts, kidnapped turtles off the beaches, and then went home, there is that demand is not sustainable, and it's every man for himself until Costa Rica has no coconuts and no turtles. So the same can be applied to Star Atlas. You can you can come into Star Atlas with the opinion that, okay, I'm going to extract as much as possible, but and we see this in the data on the aggregate, there is demand for uh, the gameplay incentives and the different specializations and their respective resources and ships and things like that on the other end. So and same thing could be said for the US, right? You can come into the US, say, I want to build a better life for myself, or I'm just going to extract as much money as I can and then go back to my own country. You're probably in the end still net contributing to the US because of the way it's structured and the way um, employment and green cards work. But at the end of the day, the same applies to Star Atlas, right? You come in and you either choose to build up a presence in Star Atlas and participate in Star Atlas, which I know is far from the late vision, the end game vision that we have at the moment. But again, you're still building for that long term, and there are people building for that long term. So that's what differentiates us. If this was a pure Ponzi scheme, or if any game is a pure Ponzi scheme, the requirements are pretty hard set. That you require a very low barrier, fast paced, on average, transfer of wealth based on new players entering the game, and that wealth is then extracted by the people at the top, and then so on and so on as people continue to exit. So basically, if you're having fun and you're enjoying yourself and you're taking advantage of luxuries, that almost in broad definitional sense removes the base definition of Ponzi. Now, in every economy, there's obviously going to be stuff that I guess reflects the definition in a certain way. Like, oh, if Jeff Bezos wants more money at Amazon, the government has to print more money and more value has to flow to Amazon for him to make money. If someone in Star Atlas wants to make more money, the money has to come from somewhere. Whether it's through automata stimulating through Atlas emissions or another player deciding to buy a ship from this person, that's all. That's the dynamic at which we're talking about here. Not someone coming in. Their only option is to buy something from another person who's just going to exit right away. That is not what we're building here. We're as Santi, as you said, we're building a digital nation state that people want to be a part of.
I'll be honest. Right now, the play to earn concept feels big in everyone's mind due to the stage of development that we are right now. In a few years, this is something that I have felt from my first day here in Star Atlas. Money will be totally secondary to the things that living the experience of Star Atlas will be. Like, for example, imagine your deck has a home world that has been protected by your guild for years now, and that's under siege. You and your guild members, I am 100%, will be willing to sacrifice a lot of time and money to defend that homeworld. If you are to protect your crew member who have been leveling from since he was released on Star Atlas, and try to make him survive an expedition in the high risk zone, you won't be preoccupied in wasting anomaly tier resources that you would otherwise sell for hundreds of dollars. You know, money is, of course, something that's important for everyone. Like, we are human beings living in a capitalist society, so it's important. But our lives only acquire meaning through things that are more important than money. Money is a vessel to work towards the things that are actually valuable in life. And the grand vision of Star Atlas is creating an ecosystem that allows human beings from all over the world to build something that is more important or more valuable than simply money, than simply, entertainment. The grand vision of Star Atlas, as we were discussing, is a cyber nation. Is making someone from anywhere in the world able to, get integrated with a community of like-minded individuals that want to belong to Galia Expanse, that want to explore this universe, that wants to, chill and see the limits of what we are able to create on a blockchain, on a permissionless environment. So, yeah, for me, like, play to earn right now feels super important, and we talk about it a lot, and it is important. But as we progress, it will start becoming less and less and less important because we have already figured out how to make an economy stable in Star Atlas. So what we need to do now is add more variety, add more layers to this economy, and it will blossom into something magnific. I'm 100% sure I'll die on that hill.
I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
definitely.
It ties back to what you were saying before, Jose, which is this is the raw state of Star Atlas. From here, it's only getting more complex, right? I think that's a good segue for like what the future of play to earn and also like the economy in Star Atlas looks like. Um, and what I can open up this conversation with a question like, and maybe for you, Gareth, like, what is the ideal state for the Star Atlas economy like years from now? Like, what needs to happen? How does it need to develop in order to basically manage to have millions of users, right? Create this digital nation that we're just starting.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I know a lot of people in the community and who I've talked to have different opinions about, not just Star Atlas, but where Play to Earn will be in the future. We we need to essentially swap places. Well, not swap places, but um, it essentially needs to look like we built the game first, as opposed to built the economy first. So um, the I won't shout out a direct competitor, but there's a direct competitor out there that has a very solid user base game, and they're building an economy now to leverage blockchain. And I'm sure some of you can probably guess who that is, but um, they're building it the opposite way to which Star Atlas has up until this point, and we essentially need to have everything that competitor has. For the full vision to scale. In 5-10 years, what that would look like is extremely deep and unique specialization routes for players that don't own a ship, that own a ship, that own a claim stake, that don't own a claim stake. For every single basically census group, micro census group of ownership, there needs to be some way for someone to acquire game items, to build a quote unquote life for themselves in Star Atlas without necessarily having to interact with the complex tools that are, everyone loves right now, such as decentralized exchanges, direct Atlas emissions through automata. Golden Carnival, for example. Actually, that's probably not the best example because that's more fun than extraction based. But
Liquidity pools,
exactly,
on
yeah.
ramps, off ramps. Yeah.
The same complexity as if I was to say back when I was in university, I want to drop out of university and work at McDonald's for the rest of my life. Like, there is an avenue for me to do that in my country. The same has to be applied. The same level of complexity has to be applied. Well, that's over time has to be applied to Star Atlas. If I want to chill at the Oni CSS for my entire play session, intraday, there should be nothing stopping me, and there should be ample reasonable opportunity for me to have fun, participate in the economy, and eventually, if I want to, work my way up to owning a ship or participating in XYZ. So in 5 to 10 years, the future of Star Atlas will look like essentially what Star Citizen, for example, is working towards, which is seamless integration into a spacefaring uh, uh, universe where the same concepts from real life, same financial, same material concepts are all applied digitally. How fast we get there, whether if that's 5 to 10 years or sooner or later, is you know very in the air. But that's essentially what will happen and what can happen with the power of blockchain. So
Yeah, I feel
Great
like
explanation. I love it.
like 5 to 10 years, like I think you nailed it with the hyper specialization. I like you need to specialize in something in the economy where there's demand from other players who want something from you. Now, whether or not that's mining or whether or not that's specializing in a single resource, whether or not that maybe you're combat focused or something like that. Maybe someone needs a guild and wants protection, or you want to be a mercenary and there's all these guild wars happening and faction warfare, and you want to be more of like someone who helps and is paid to help, do things like that. I have a personal opinion. This is my personal opinion. No one get the pitchforks out, but I don't think everyone should be able to make money in a game that has a real economy. I think you should really have to focus. You should really have to intentionally try to make money in the game to actually make money. I think it shouldn't be in a way where everyone can make money. It should be hyper specialization. It should be skill based. It should be all of that. Someone shouldn't be able to come in day one with no assets, no anything, and play the game for a couple days and make a boatload of money. It's not sustainable. I don't think anyone wants something like that. I think in 5 to 10 years, I don't think there's any way, as long as the economy is sustainable and real and Star Atlas has succeeded, I don't think there's any way that the money isn't made based off of hyper specialization or dominance of the galaxy, or maybe your guild has territory over one of the most lucrative spots in the high risk zone, as an example. That's one way I would say is to make money. And then you pay your guild mates to around the clock watch over this kind of area and make sure no other guilds come and take over that thing. Or like I said, maybe you're specializing in manufacturing ships like Afia is going to do. There's so many things. And that's where the complexities of the economy have to come in. And I've actually made this joke recently that it feels like blockchain was like divinely created for Star Atlas, because there's no one I feel like the only way you make a real economy is there needs to be immense complexity, and immense specialization opportunities. So I know that was long-winded, but I pretty passionate about this.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
I wanna piggyback on what Dom is saying. Guys, right now we have only 37 different recipes in Star Atlas. Anyone with a seasonable fleet is able to craft all items that they want just by arranging crew members and etc. 5 years from now, this will be impossible. If we are not on the maybe thousands, I don't know, maybe even million different items in Star Atlas, we are doing something wrong. Because this game, as Dom is saying, needs to grow to be something that requires you to be specialized. It needs to grow to something that there is a threshold that you can only surpass through taking risks, by going to the high risk zone, by getting together with other people, putting your faces and your assets to try to win big or go home. It needs to have many different gameplay loops. It needs to have decay of resources. It needs to have storage costs. It needs to be so cool, so complex that if you want to just chill and be a farmer in a moon, raising your pigs and Jupron oxes and doing some honest work, that's fine. But if you want to go for galactic domination, bro, you need to create a horde. You need to be willing to fight, putting millions of dollars in assets, thousands of guild members, making political moves, and everything on the line, you know? It must be impossible for a single player to master more than one gameplay loop by himself. And this is what we are building. Like, this is literally what we talk about every day internally. This is what we all dream about. This is where we have heated discussions among departments, because we have the vision of what this cybernation is coming to be. And it's not getting easier, I'll tell you that, because easy won't make for the future that you guys want to see. So Star Atlas needs to get hard, Star Atlas needs to get wild, needs to get dangerous, and this is what we are building. And this is going to start very soon with C4. I'll tell you guys something. If it's up to me, the first day that we have, the first week of C4, I will announce the Jarvik fleet is coming from the high risk zone. 3 days later, I'll spawn a Titan ship and I'll start destroying your star bases in the medium zone, burning all the resources that you guys have stored for years. So this is the kind of cool shit that I want to see. And it's going to be super fun. I want to see chaos in Gaia.
Well
Love
said,
it.
brother. I mean, seriously. I saw Ronald say, you're gonna scare people. I don't think that scares people. I think that gets people excited,
Nah.
man. I want
Dude.
that. I think that's what we all signed up for. I mean, for real.
Also, if you're here with us in this brew at this moment in time, with the market destroying us for like 3 years in a row, I don't think you can be scared off easily, really.
Yeah.
You're here for it. You're here for it. So yeah, completely battle tested. Absolutely. Yeah. Man, what a great discussion. I feel like we can keep going for hours on this. We didn't even hit all the points we had in the agenda.
We
so-
barely had like 2 or 3. It's yeah, it's crazy. You can go down so many different rabbit holes and how things should work. It's crazy. We could
Yeah.
probably do a part 2 of this, to be honest.
I'm down to do part 2. Absolutely. We missed I wanted to chat about the like how gaming and gaming combined with crypto can destroy borders, like make them useless. How can you tap into and this is like a personal story for me as well. Like when I got into crypto, being from Argentina, like it literally changed my life. Like I could tap into a real first world market without anyone asking for my passport to open a bank account or anything like that. So I don't want to open that kind of worm right now, but I think it's worth for like a second discussion on how like the vision that we have, which is a lot of people are like saying, "Oh no, just hide away everything crypto from your game," and we're like, I don't think that is the way. I think the way is education, and I think the way is explaining to people the benefit of this tech. You can literally change people's lives. You don't need to obfuscate that. So yeah, I think it's a game changer, and I would love to have a conversation about that maybe next brew. So
Hmm.
That's an interesting topic to touch on. It's a massive topic that we've been well versed in now for absolutely ages now. So definitely down to have another discussion.
yeah, I think we should do part 2 next week, guys, for sure. For sure.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Fleet rentals in
okay, we
combat,
have
that's a whole nother can of worms, brother. That's a whole nother can of worms. We'll be here for another hour on that one.
yeah. No, we'll continue the discussion on Wednesday. We have a call we need to jump into with Dom as well. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to cut it. It feels like cutting it short, but
I know it
I
does.
love it. I like that people are enjoying the conversation. Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Definitely part two.
We'll keep
Part two next
chatting
week.
about it.
We'll definitely have to keep this one going because we didn't even get through halfway through our agenda at all.
Yeah, true, true. Gareth, man, you've been an awesome guest. We'll
Yeah.
have you next week if you're down.
Yeah, it should work. Appreciate you guys having me. I know Chris wishes he could be here as well, but he's doing Chris things. So thank you for having me.
Chris out doing Chris things.
It was
Honey Badger.
yeah, it was a great conversation. Just know we're always building towards that grand vision, and hopefully you guys are gonna be there with us the whole way through. So thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
We'll pick it up next week. It sounds like.
Yes.
Thank you everyone for
we will.
joining us today. Appreciate you
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
Much
It
love.
was an awesome conversation. Chat next week. Bye bye.
Thanks, guys. See ya.